Procediamus in pace. In nomine Christi. Amen.
Live from the City of Angels. It's MMT's Sunday Evening Spectacular. Rolling it back to 1990. Enigma, Sadness, Part 1. Do I pick the tracks right, or do I pick the tracks right on this show? Ties in perfectly to tonight's MMT live evaluation of a film you've been told is a Best Picture contender. We're discussing Conclave tonight. By the way, this song went #1 in 14 countries. Huge. Back when music was universal, right? When the #1 song in 14 countries, everybody knew. Everybody knows this song because that's how it was back in 1990. Now, everything's fragmented, right? So many options for you, including here tonight. The fact that we have one viewer is a win for MMT tonight. But seriously, think about this. Back then, you didn't even have the internet, right? You had to listen to the radio station to hear this or go out and buy it. I had the 12-inch vinyl, the remix. It was like 8 minutes. But it's just, unfortunately, the world's not like it was back then in so many ways. But I think music's one of the big ones because it just was such a different time and everyone was bound by the fact that you knew what the #1 movie was, #1 song, #1 TV show. Now, man, there's too many things. It's atomized, as I say, right? Everything's been smashed down to bits. So it's kind of nice to take a time machine back to 1990 and try to remember what it was like back then. If you weren't back then, man, I feel bad for you because that was the best. It was, I think we peaked as a society in like 1991. It's somewhere around there. I'm not exactly sure the year. It's in the early 90s. 80s were awesome, and in the early 90s, we don't talk enough about how awesome they were. But now it's obviously not nearly as good as it was back then. But it's time to do it. Let's go live from the City of Angels. You are watching MMT tonight. I am frankly a little beat up, so I am going to do this show as long as I can, and then I'm just going to hit eject. So do not come back for your money. There's no guarantee on your cash. You do not get a money back guarantee if the show goes really short tonight. I'm going to do my best to go as long as possible. It is the MMT Sunday Evening Spectacular live from the City of Angels. Here we go. Let's do it. We have a bunch of stuff to talk about. We're going to start with Conclave, the live MMT evaluation of that film. Saw it last night. We discussed. After that, we have Netflix getting The Shaft by Margot Robbie. Can't wait to discuss that. Also, will they win a Best Picture? Netflix? Hell no. We'll tell you why. In addition, Warner Brothers is burying Clint Eastwood's latest film debuting tonight down the street at AFI. Had an invite. I said, no, I want to do my show and go to bed. I don't want to watch Clint Eastwood's latest film that's getting buried by Warner Brothers. Why is that happening? We'll discuss that tonight. That is on the way. But we do start tonight with the live MMT evaluation of Conclave, a film from Edward Berger. Go back and you remember the nomination, the win for Netflix. They did win international for him back in 2 years ago. My God, time just flies. But yes, they're not having this film. And I'll tell you what, I'm thrilled they don't have this film. Because at least, even though I have issues with the film, here comes the evaluation. I'm going to tell you that I had a chance to watch this at AMC. And the difference between watching a Conclave here versus never, because I don't watch Netflix films because they suck ass. I'm not going to support them. You shouldn't support them. Certainly not any kind of film. If I'm an awards voter, I'm not voting for Netflix, for anything. We'll discuss that coming up because you aren't playing by the rules that everybody else is, including Focus. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Conclave. Here's a taste of the trailer.
The Pope is dead. The throne is vacant.
The Conclave begins now. We're about to choose the most famous man in the world.
And 1.25 billion souls watching.
I'd say this is a pretty fair vision of hell. Well, don't be blasphemous, Ray. Hell arrives tomorrow when we bring in the cardinals.
No sane man would want the papacy.
Some of our colleagues seem to want it.
Another cardinal has just turned up. He was never on our list.
He has to be an imposter.
You look anxious. Everything under control.
Let's pause there, and you can see all the huge names in this. I mean, you talk about heavy hitters. Fine. Tucci, Lithgow, Rossellini, and there's more. This is certainly going to be a contender for SAG Ensemble. And we'll talk about, I have some issues with a couple of the performances, so we're going to talk about that here in a moment. But the first thing I want to bring to your attention is it's so nice to finally be back in a movie theater watching character-focused filmmaking, right? I have to sit through a Venom, and then I have to sit through Godzilla Kong, and I have to watch all these films this year that are just brain dead entertainment apes, name anything, okay? And the fact that this is just a smaller character-driven film, we're finally at that point in the year where we get that, and it's another reminder how much I enjoy sitting in and watching a mature film, right? None of this completely forgettable shit that's literally out for the masses and McDonald's movie making, as we call it. This is not that. So for that, I am certainly thankful that I have an opportunity to watch these films at my local AMC. So that is a positive on this film. It's not really speaking to the film, though, as you notice. It's just more about the genre and the fact that it's mature, in which I appreciate. I think I'm going to start here tonight with what I like about this film is Stanley Tucci. And I think we don't talk enough about Stanley Tucci. We mention everybody else in Hollywood. We mention all of these, historic actors over the years that are held in such high esteem. And then you just don't think of a Stanley Tucci. For me, when I watch Stanley Tucci, everything's elevated, right? We are in a different space. And for that alone, I'm in on Conclave more than I would be if it were without Stanley Tucci. Now, you're going to say fine, and I can't argue with that. The problem with Ray Fine is that you don't get much modulation on him, right? You know what you're getting with him. With every film, he plays the same version of himself. You could probably say that about Tucci, but I think Tucci's got a little bit more layering going on. And I also want to bring attention to this. I talked about how some of these performances are uneven, and I think we're going to go right to one of the down. And this is only person that's going to say this is me. When you look at some of these performances in the ensemble, there's one of the lower priests. He's like a character actor. I don't know who the guy is. He's just some random actor that's in this. Maybe he's been in some other things. Don't know. But he's pushing the accelerator too hard, and when everybody else is so over the top talented, and you have somebody who's overcompensating, you can feel it. And the dude, and if you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. It's just off. It's too up. It needs to be modulated down. And also go back to Fiennes. When you watch him, he's really low key, right? He's the keeper of the conclave. He's trying to figure out which one of these popes that's going to be the next pope, which one of these cardinals is going to be the next pope, and he's uncovering dirt on all of them throughout this thing. So it's a mystery thriller. Who's going to be the final pope standing? But when you look at Fiennes, there's a point where he is up for pope, and all of a sudden he's so low key. All of a sudden he's like, "But I don't want to be pope," and everyone in my whole audience started laughing. And I'm like, that's not really what you want in a heavy drama like this, right? Because it's too much. And I go back to Berger, and you think about All Quiet on the Western Front. I mean, this is a guy who doesn't have quite the experience of a director. Let's just use, obviously, someone with a ton of experience. You go to a Tarantino, you go to, current workers, current actors, directors that are working. You look at Scorsese. You're talking about actors who are going to get the best performances, directors out of their actors. I told you guys I was tired tonight, so just forgive me if this is just going to be, we're going to plow through this thing here tonight. Here's what I'm going to tell you, is that if you have a director who doesn't have quite the skill set of someone like a Scorsese or Tarantino, or name an esteemed director working today, you might get what you see in this film, which are performances that aren't quite as dialed in as you think they are. I think there's a lot of people that are going to watch this film and think that it is much better than it actually is. And the things that show me that even the director knows this film doesn't have nearly the level of suspense that we just saw in that trailer. If you watch this film, you pay attention to the score. The score is manipulating you throughout. Why? Because it is trying to create the tension that really is not quite there. So you have the score throughout, pushing and prodding to get you to believe that what you're watching is something stronger than what you actually are. These are little things. Again, nobody does it better. Nobody. Even me, super tired tonight, plowing through this live, was almost about ready to cancel the stream. I said, no, I promised a Sunday night show. We'll do it. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Nobody else is dialed in like this. They're typically very surface level. They don't see all of the little knobs being twisted. I, unfortunately, for better or worse, see all of it. I feel all of it. And when I watch this, I can see all the things that are happening by Berger, what he's doing, and these things just come up a little bit short here and there, and you end up with a film that is not a bad film. It's just not as strong as I was led to believe Conclave was, right? Coming out of Telluride, where it debuted. It's a Focus Features focus. This is their focus of the award season 2024. It should be a Best Picture based on how bad this year is. We've talked so often about how weak this year is. And when you talk about 2024, you're talking about films getting into Best Picture that have no business being there. I don't think Conclave necessarily has no business. I would rather see Conclave in than Sing Sing, okay? If you put them head to head, I'm taking Conclave over Sing Sing, which of course makes me racist. But I'm just so you guys know, totally. Just cut that. Weber, oh my God, I can't believe it. No, it's a stronger film, okay? But I go back to, I'm going to talk about an MMT must-see in a moment, and I'm going to tell you how far we've fallen in 5 years when I mentioned the must-see versus what I'm talking about right now. It's coming. But I really want to discuss this here tonight. I talked about it this morning on Breaking Box Office. This film, without question, has an agenda. Okay? This film is pushing an agenda, a narrative. And when you watch it, I don't care, because I am immune to this shit. I don't care if you're going to go, quote, woke on me. If you're going to try to do things that are going to align with that worldview, that mindset. And when you watch this, there's not a question. Tucci's character in particular is literally the voice of every, quote, woke person. Just, if you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. His speeches are always about, we need more inclusion, we need this, right? It's like, oh my God, okay? But I'm at the point where that doesn't faze me, okay? I don't allow that to hammer my film. Here's what I'm telling you. As I mention this, I mention it because I want you to be aware of it. Remember, when I watch a film, I don't want to be told how to think. I want to be able to come up with conclusions on my own. This film does not allow you to do that. It very much bashes you over the head with the, quote, woke mindset. People say, what is the woke mindset? It is, and I've said this a million times, it's when you are forcing ideas in inorganically and you are making the audience essentially preaching to them. And this film does a lot of that. It's not why I'm as low on the score as I am. It has nothing to do with it. I'm bringing it up because it's an important detail that a lot of people don't understand and don't fully grasp, and they don't get the nuance of it. For me, it's not going to really hammer the film, but for some people, they're going to be like, I don't like it because it's woke, it does this, it does that. At the end, I'm not going to give you the twist, but the twist, all of these things are going to work to say this is a bashing of the Catholic Church. Did you notice I didn't say that? I grew up Catholic, went to a Catholic high school, so I am, I was born and raised that way. But the reality of it is that I'm still religious in a way. I believe in a God. I believe in a higher power, all of that. But I don't attend church every Sunday. I'm religious, but not, fanatical. So when I watch this film and I see the Catholic Church, yes, taking some shots, as it should, based on what we've seen with the Catholic Church, go back and watch a Spotlight, a better film than Conclave, right? But when you go and you look at a Spotlight, you know exactly what I'm talking about without getting into it here tonight. But I think that it's important to note that this film is going to be a problem for a lot of people that are very deeply faith-based and or certainly Catholic. It's going to be like, here's Hollywood dragging Catholics again and the church. Okay, so all that said, I'm going to come out on this thing and I'm going to give it a 75%. It's not a great score. It's not a terrible score. Listen, it's better than a lot of scores we've had recently. But again, it speaks to how weak this year is. 2024 is one of the weakest years for film ever. Do not listen to someone who says it's a strong year. If they do, they don't know what they're talking about. A strong year is 2019. The last time we had a really, really great year is 2019. And here's how I can tell you it was much better than this year. Tonight's MMT must-see is The Two Popes. Now, how perfect is this? It just goes right in with Conclave. Two Popes superior to Conclave across every single level, including performances. You look at that film and you look at how is that not a best picture? You guys remember, this is how strong 2019 was. Look here, and I go to the awards for The Two Popes. I pull it up. That is the best film Netflix had in 2019. Better than The Irishman. Not a question about it. Two Popes is a stronger film across the board. Look what it got at the Academy Awards. It did get performance by an actor in leading role with Price, and you also got Hopkins in supporting. They absolutely had to be there. Two of the best performances of 2019. It only got a screenplay. It did not get a best picture or a director. So that's how strong 2019 is. If you put Two Popes in 2024, it is superior to Conclave. Conclave is out. Two Popes is in. And that's what we're talking about. That is how far we've fallen. When a film like Two Popes, superior in every way, to Conclave, is only getting 3 Oscar nominations, and this film is going to end up with probably 6, 7, 8, okay, including Best Picture and likely Best Director. Because I don't say Netflix because I'm thinking back to Burger. Because Focus has nothing else, and Focus is very highly regarded in this town. Certainly theatrically, I am always going to vote for a Focus film over a Netflix film, always. Because I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to tell you I'm going to hammer Netflix for not having theatrical, not legitimate. And I hope the voters do that. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But Two Popes is our must-see of the year, okay? I mean, Two Popes must-see tonight. See, I told you guys, my brain's like completely fried. Just FYI, today I played like 78 games of volleyball, and I played the best I played in a long time. So please listen to me as I go out there. Just remember this. I'm the only film critic who's actually an athlete. The only one. There's not another one. No one can contend. It's not even a contest. They all can't even play. It's literally like, don't even step into the box. You can't contend. So as such, when I played 78 games and I won more than I usually do because I was balling out today, you need to understand that tonight I might be a little bit more tired. So allow me that. Normal critic, you can't give them that because they don't have an excuse. They sit around, they're overweight, they're stuffing their face with flaming hot Cheetos. I don't do that, right? I'm at the gym, I'm going to play beach volleyball, I'm out and about, shirtless. These things make me different, much different than the other people. I ain't like them ones. I like the film. I just didn't agree with the decision to select Zach Pope. Flash. Why do you do this to me? Because guess who's let's just do it. Let's just real quick because it's perfect in here. MMT's Clueless Critic of the Week is Zach Pope. We gave him Shill of the Week multiple times. I don't think we've ever bestowed the Clueless Critic Award on Zach Pope. Let me tell you why. For those of you like, who's Zach Pope? Just trust us. You don't really want to know. But we're going to go and look. I'm not going to play it. I will not. I'm going to hit pause. I'm not sitting here and I'm not listening to Zach Pope tonight. Here is what, can you guys see what it's called? It's called Anora is a Masterpiece. I'm not watching it. I'm not going to do it. I said to myself tonight, I'm going to get through the stream. I'm going to try not to yell, which is very difficult for me. And I'm going to just get through. But he is our Clueless Critic. He called it a masterpiece. Don't get me started on Anora, the most overrated film of the year. Don't make me do it. But it is. It is. Good observation about the score. Uneven with the upcoming scene. Yes, Simone, thank you. Listen, I'm telling you, here's the thing I'm just, for whatever reason, I am hypersensitive to what these directors are doing. And it makes for me, a much more challenging situation to sit in a room with people that don't have that skill, or to discuss these things with people that don't have the skill. Do you understand? It's like being colorblind. Most people out there are colorblind to a lot of these things. They don't pay attention to these things. Simone, you're not one of them for sure. Simone's like hardcore. And what I love about Simone is we'll disagree on a film and she'll be like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. That I appreciate. So Simone, good on you anytime. But here's the thing is that I see these things. I can tell the manipulation. I don't like to be manipulated. I like it to be organic. It's rare. It happens. You have to allow it to create. And this film does not. This film feels like here's what we're doing, and it's very soap opera-y at times, right? When you're trying to figure out which of these popes is going to get through, and then they have all these things attached to them, like one of them had a kid out of wedlock, and the other, I'm not going to say the other, but you see, there's just all these things that are just too much. Everything here needs to be brought down a little bit and more grounded. That's why Two Popes is a better film. Much better film. Much better film. All right, let's go to a couple more things here before again, short stream tonight. Let's go to MMT Cinema Champion because we went negative with our, of course, clueless critic. Now we're going to go to our Cinema Champion, and it is Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie is instrumental in Warner Brothers acquiring Wuthering Heights, along with Emerald Fennell, of course, who is an up-and-coming filmmaker. As you guys know, Saltburn, before that, Promising a Woman. She is everyone wants to work with her, including Netflix. They were like, we'll give you $150 million for this. New York Times is on this. This is how big this story is. And this is, by the way, who started this? Who was the only guy out there saying fuck Netflix? Who was the only guy saying Netflix shouldn't be taken seriously? Who was the only guy? Now it's cool. Now it's trendy, because that's what we do. We jump out in front and we don't care. We don't need reinforcements. We are the reinforcements. I don't need reinforcements from the critic nerds. Are you kidding me? They don't have the guts. I'm not yelling. You see, I'm keeping myself. They don't have the balls. They certainly don't have the courage. None of them. They have the courage. Weber's, he's so toxic. Oh, nice job, film Twitter dweeb. How's it feel to be a complete fucking loser in life? Seriously, some of these people literally have no achievements in their life. None. This is just something I do on the side. I enjoy it, okay? This isn't I don't define myself by this. All these other people are like, well, I just watch films all day, and here's my letterbox. It's like, get a fucking life, man. It's not just about movies. But who's the only one who is out in front of this because they're not afraid of getting cut off by Netflix? Fuck Netflix for the 500th time on this channel. I don't need their shit. I ain't going to one of their damn events. Even if they get theatrical, it was all worth it. If they ever get AMC or Regal, I'm never going back. They're never going to invite me. But guess what? We changed it. We changed you. And that's what we're going to do. And Hollywood's fallen in line. Margot Robbie and Emerald Fennell, they both said, F you, Netflix. And both of you have earned the Cinema Champion here tonight for agreeing to send this thing to Warner Brothers. They got less money than they would from Netflix, but they said, listen, I want this thing to be in a theater. So Robbie's company and its partner MRC, an independent studio, have signed with Warner Brothers. They offered them $80 million plus a significant marketing commitment, according to a person with knowledge of the decision. So $80 million versus $150. Okay. So that tells you that we have people that stick to their guns. We have people that do not sell out. We have people that will call out the studios for not having legitimate theatrical components attached. Daniel Craig called him out last week. We gave him the gold star for that. And tonight, it's Robbie and Fennell, because that's how we do it. And who did it? Who led the charge? Me. I'll lead the charge every time, because I actually have talent, unlike your boy Sean Fantasy. I want to hammer him again. That guy, he's the Dak Prescott of the film Twitter space. Literally the most overpaid, overrated person in the planet. The guy's terrible. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. He just goes with, what's the person saying that I'm supposed to say? He's also too young. He's like 40. He's not old enough. I'm older than 40. I've got more experience than that dude. You guys act like he's got, oh, by the way, you guys ready for this? You ready to throw up on your keyboard? He's got Fantasy Fest coming up. Oh my God. Can you imagine, like, glazing that guy. And it's down at the Frida in Santa Ana. And just FYI, his choices are so... You knew they were coming. They're most obvious choices. It's like one of them is hold on, let me pull it up. Can I just do it for 1 second? I was not going to do this. Let me see if there's actually a website that I can look. But when I looked at what I saw was coming, I didn't want to do this. I'm sorry, guys. I really didn't, but I just have to. Every time I can hammer this guy, total fraud. The Big Lebowski. Well, that's not obvious. Next, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Obvious. Long Goodbye, slightly unobvious, and Under the Silver Lake, overrated film. No surprise that he, of course, picked these. If I picked these films, they'd be better than this. We'd be watching The Raid 2, for one, for sure. We'd be watching 12, Short-Term 12. I'm saying recent. Let's just go recent. Everything's got to be from 2000 and on. Social Network, that's kind of obvious. We'll go, so Short-Term 12, we'll go certainly Raid 2. We will go Good Time, and we will go Tar. There's our 4. That's our 4. Fine. If you want something, we'll go Doors. If you want to go, it's kind of obvious, but it's better than this because I know what I'm doing. He's the Jalen Hurts of shitty pundits. Listen, but Jalen Hurts got to a Super Bowl. Did the Eagles win the Super Bowl? I honestly don't remember. They didn't, did they? It was the Chiefs. No. He's Dak Prescott. He's overpaid, right? He's in that contract that's absurd and then makes throws like tonight I was watching the 49ers game. Did they end up winning out of the early throw? He's got pressure and he just throws the ball up for grabs. I'm like, there you go. That's it. Let me just see what I can do here with the ball. Unbelievable. So that either way, Skull Man, it's either way most overvalued. We are the most undervalued. I feel for sure the Brock Purdy of the space. Did they win? If they lost, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to be Brock Purdy because we don't get enough respect. We are the last person picked in the NFL draft, Mr. Irrelevant, and we've proven all of the haters wrong, and it drives them crazy. Weber, he's so bad. He's everything that's wrong. What's wrong? I don't know, but he's everything. That's just like the crutch for these losers, right? He's everything that's wrong. I just said fantasy is completely overrated because you guys hold him up on some kind of pedestal, and I read his takes. I'm like, no one. He's never hammered a film he's not supposed to hammer. Never. Don't tell me Joker 2. That's easy. That's everyone hammered that. I actually stood up for Joker 2. That makes me the rarity. See what I'm saying? He has no balls. No balls. I hope he comes after me. It's the first time he'll ever show balls in his life. Literally the most overrated film voice in the history of film. If anyone mentions him with Siskel and Ebert, you guys literally the tongue should be locked. There should muzzle. You have a muzzle for at least a year for mentioning his name with Siskel and Ebert. That is complete heresy. Time for MT Music. I would love to. They would never let me. Remember, a lot of these people don't like Weber for whatever reason. He's terrible. Why? Oh, I don't know. He's just opinionated. He thinks he's right. Oh, and I'm sorry. Is there something wrong with that? What's wrong with that? What do you want me to come on here and go, well, I think that maybe it's okay, but I don't know. Maybe you'll have a different opinion. Like, that's so beta bitch. That's so lame. Why do you guys watch someone like that? Well, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I'm sorry. If you get your feelings hurt, then so be it. That's just what it is. All right, let's continue. No chance for Netflix. Why am I spending time talking about that guy? What a waste. That's the last time we ever talk about him. The last time. If I ever break that, then you guys come in and just absolutely hammer me. For literally the whole hour, I'll just read comments saying, you said you'd never, and I did. It's not going to happen again. Will Netflix finally win Oscar? Hell no. And look, this is Clayton Davis is writing an article saying, is Amelia Perez going to win them the Oscar? Well, it's a terrible year. So, I mean, listen, if they ever have a chance to win, I haven't seen Amelia Perez. I'm not going to watch it because it's Netflix and we're not going to support them. Why would we? Why would you? Don't support them. In fact, we know. Can I ask you a question, guys? Why am I the only guy who hammers Netflix? Now, no one in the space does. No one in space does, because if they do, they're not going to get invited to parties. Has Fantasy ever hammered Netflix? Of course he hasn't, because he has no balls. Has anybody else in this film? Has Gore? No, because you know why? Gore wouldn't get invited to the party. They'll have party. They'll have they just had the Amelia Perez event the other night. Did Gore go? I'm sure he did. Because that's the thing. These people are validated by that shit. I don't want to go. I turned down so many invites now. You guys don't even know. This is not me bragging. I could pull up my inbox and show them to you. And in fact, I had a major PR company email me the other day saying, "Can you watch this for us?" And I go, and I didn't even reply. That's where I'm at. I don't even care. Everyone else would be like, "Oh, a major PR company's like, dude, what's my opinion?" I'm like, I don't care anymore. I don't. I mean, I care, but I don't, right? I told you guys I'm pulling back. I'm doing this because it's easy. I'm here. The setup's here. I'm pushing some buttons. Everything's here. This isn't like hard work. That's why tonight I said I almost didn't do it. I said, fine, I can't really say it's hard. So the point is that no one else does this. And why don't they? No one else hammers them. So no, Netflix cannot win Best Picture because you can't vote for them. You can't. How can you vote for them in good conscience when you have Searchlight, when you have Focus, when you have Warner Brothers, when you have anything? Dune 2, even though I don't think it's as good as Dune. Hell yeah, Dune's over this. Dune was in theaters. Dune has over 700 million worldwide. Amelia Perez has $0 at the box office. They'll never report it. If it ever makes anything, be 50,000, 100,000. Right? That's it. They'll never report it. So why are these people? Seriously, Gone Girl, any comment? I need someone to explain to me why no one else in the space has the cojones to come in and hammer Netflix. What if Netflix made Tar? Well, first of all, I wouldn't watch Tar. That's a great question, Gone Girl. I would not have watched Tar because that's how I feel, right? So, but hold on. 2022, I hadn't quite cut off Netflix, so I probably would have watched it. Boy, that'd be hard. But I still would. The problem is I couldn't change my evaluation, so I don't want to watch it because I don't want to see it. Like last year, I remember I watched Maestro and May December, and I like Maestro more than May December for sure. But May December's laughably bad. Okay, it's like a Lifetime movie, but told that Todd Haynes made it, so it's good. No, it's not good. It's laughable. It's not a comedy. It's not supposed to be funny, but you're like, the hot dog jokes. Put more hot dogs on the grill. That's so funny. But Todd Haynes directed it, so it's great. That's Film Twitter. They're so predictable. You know, when's the last time Film Twitter ever came out on a film early, like Anora, like I did, and said, this thing's overrated. Holy shit, it's annoying. That middle scene with them on the couches and they're torturing her while, tying her up and gagging her. One of the worst things I've ever seen. And I had to sit through it for like 25, 30 minutes. You know why? Because they don't have the balls. I see them in person. They literally are the kind of people that slink in the back and go, that you have to carry yourself with more confidence to even try to do what we do. But the thing is why not? Why would you hold back? Why would you go with the group to go with the group? That's pathetic behavior. We saw that during COVID, right? I didn't go with the group. I was calling you guys. I told you from day one. Go back and watch the streams going back to Batman. I said I was in Vegas. I was going to movies at drive-ins. I was driving all over the place. When they told me to wear a mask, I put on my bandana over my face because, of course, that protected everybody. It's poetic justice for Netflix to being the institution that prioritizes guns for hire instead of cinematic creativity. And look, the directors are leaving. The directors are saying no. Emerald Fennell's like, no, I don't even want your extra $70 million. That's where we're at. And that means we're winning. We are winning. Okay. And that is what you need to focus on, is that the tide's turning. We started it. And that's the thing. Has Fantasy started anything? No. Yet. Oh, he's the vaunted. No, he's never started. He has Fantasy Fest with 4 predictable films and one hellaciously overrated one in Under the Silver Lake. So, listen, first of all, Raid 2 is better than all those films. Raid 2 is better than all of those films. Much better. Hello. I mean, they will never give me an MMT Fest because, first of all, we're not as cool as him. Look, in big time quotes, very much the biggest air quotes you could imagine. Let's go and talk about Warner Brothers burying Clint Eastwood, because I mentioned that off the top. Here it is. Clint Eastwood, juror number 2. It's debuting tonight. I mentioned that when we started the stream. AFI down in Hollywood. It's at the TCL, which is the Chinese theater and the other theaters there. I didn't go down. I had opportunities to go. The PR agencies were like, Weber, can you come down and see this, and this? I go, no, I'm not coming down. You know why? I told you guys, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not hanging out with those people. I don't want to see the critics. And if one of them's watching, I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you. I don't want to be around you. I've told you guys so many times, I walk into a critic screening and I go, man, I feel like bad. It's like a negative aura. Well, Weber's negative. No, it's like an aura of uncoolness. It's like jumping in a pool of rotten water. You know, it's like jumping in a pool of acid. I don't want to, I don't need that. So I just look around and I go, you guys are so uncool. They're so uncool. Critics are so fucking uncool. They could never hang out and like literally have a woman or man look at them like, oh, no. You look at them, you're like, ugh, good God. You're why there's hookers. I say it all the time. I'm going to say it again. It's true. You look, you go, damn, man, you're paying for hookers, aren't you? You have to be. And then sometimes they have a girlfriend, or a boyfriend. Oh, my God. Sorry, Weber's being mean. Too bad. It is what it is. I don't want to go. I'm not going to see him. I don't have to go anymore and hang out with these people. So it makes it easier. I can do whatever I want. And if they're at Burbank, come up and say hi. I'll say I didn't want to hang out with you in the first place. So it's perfect, except for a few. There's a few of you, very few. Not many. And Weber's destroying critics. Because, guys, you know I'm right. Name one critic that's cool. Go. Name one. Come on. Gone Girl, give me one. Give me one critic that has like any kind of stroke. Like you imagine they'd walk in some place like, oh, that guy's getting ass. One way or the other, guy or girl. Name one that's like that, somebody who's going to get action at the end of the night. Go ahead, guys. Come on in. Menzel's cool. He's married, so we can't use him. Give me somebody. Menzel is cool. I like Scott a lot. Even Scott gets dragged because we're the only normal people in the space. Is there anybody else? There's nobody else, guys. Trust me. There's nobody. Would you rather hang out with critics or the film Twitter dweebs? Neither. Is the option neither available? Let's go back and let's talk about this film that's not coming out from Warner Brothers. So it is. Warner Brothers is going to put Juror number 2 in 50 theaters. That's it. In Burbank's one of them, so I'll see it Friday. We'll talk about it next Sunday. Not excited for this film. If Warner Brothers doesn't deem this film worthy to really even put any money into, any attention into, then it can't be good. Okay. But that said, remember, Richard Jewell did not fire at the box office. Go back, Cry Macho. I mean, I think it did better. Was that out during COVID? I almost forget Cry Macho. But Richard Jewell, just go back to the last movie he had in theaters with box office. Not American Sniper, but American Jewel. Didn't do well. I think Warner Brothers knows that the adult drama market is limited when it comes to theatrical. So they're thinking to themselves, why spend all this money on this big rollout nationwide when we know this film's not going to do well? So we'll at least put it in theaters for 50 theaters, LA, New York, Chicago, all the usual suspects. And then we'll at least be able to be eligible for Oscar. I don't expect this to be an Oscars film because Eastwood's getting worse as a director as he gets older, right? We can all agree. And even American Sniper, very overrated film. But listen, it makes sense that they're not putting a lot into this film. I wouldn't either, especially if I had seen it and it's not that great. Now, I haven't seen it. I'll find out. Menzel's at it right now. I'll talk to him on the way home. I'm sure he'll say it's a non-starter. That's his favorite, right? Non-starter. Well, of course it's not. So, but Warner Brothers still is theatrical, so we like them for that. Any films left this year excited to see? High expectations for Heretic. I can't wait to see Heretic. In fact, Heretic played at AFI, and I almost went, and then I said, no, I don't want to see the people. So I said, I'll just wait for it to show up at Burbank. You got to understand, for me to go to Burbank is like so close. Why would I even drive to Hollywood and risk my car windshield getting broken? Right? Let's just break into cars and steal shit. That's what happens here. LA is a disaster. LA, especially Hollywood, you go down, there's meth heads everywhere. People, all kinds of homeless and weird. It's like a zombie movie. You park your car, luckily that one's underground. But if you walk around Hollywood, like anywhere, we're talking about Walk of Fame, right? Hollywood stars, right? All that shit there. That area has always been a little bit suspect, but now it's way worse. The only thing they've done is they've kind of cleaned up some of it because they know the election's coming up. So Bass and her team are getting rid of some areas. They're cleaning it up. But there still are places where there's literally entire, I would say, installations, like a home, like it's almost like a complex that they have on the sidewalk. And you're like, why is this here? Why are you allowing people to put up literally a house? I mean, it's quite literally a house. I don't even want to go down to Hollywood. So for me, it's easier to go to Burbank. We have, again, I mention this all the time about Burbank. Burbank has a police force. Burbank has borders. Burbank's enforced. Burbank doesn't have homeless. Burbank doesn't. And listen, I've said it a million times. We all are sorry for the plight of the homeless, but you cannot live on the street. We can't have you living on the street. Just not happening. It's not happening. Do you understand? So whatever you think you're going to do, you're not going to do. Therefore, we're going to have to ask you to go somewhere else. I don't know what to tell you. Or, I don't know what to tell you. You just can't be here. That's it. There's no option. There's not an option for you to set up your house. That's not on the table. So take it down and find somewhere to go. Again, people have made choices in life. We all have made choices. And if you made poor choices, then guess what happens? It compounds and eventually something terrible happens. Now, that said, I'm not going to get it. I can't believe I'm already this far. I really just want to come on and talk and get off. There are people that have been forced out through losing a job, through something that's bad. I understand that. But before it gets too bad, find someone to move in with. Figure out a way out before it becomes untenable. You can't even get out of it, right? Because once you're in that situation, it's virtually impossible to get out of it. Quickly, let's get out of that. Let's go back to what I said. LA disaster. Burbank, much better. It still has issues, but I never had, when I go to AMC, I feel safe. I like the place. Although the film Twitter dweebs are there, I just kind of ignore them. I don't want to see them. And occasionally I do have a nice fan who comes up and says, hey, I enjoy the stream. That's cool. But for the rest of them, I had one, remember I told you the one time I came to the 16, I came walking down and some weirdo film Twitter like girl, she took a picture of me walking down or on the escalator. I'm like, and she's like down below. I'm like, you guys are weird. What the fuck's wrong with you? That's not normal behavior. There's Eric Weber. He's the worst person ever. Okay. Why are you even worried about that? Like, I don't worry. If I saw Zach Pope, I wouldn't take a picture of Zach Pope. I wouldn't. Do you think I'd go up to, look, there's Zach Pope. Click, look, it's Zach Pope. It's a little weird. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of strange mental things going on with the film Twitter space. 100% I'm right. It's not a normal group of people. They're not normal. They're not well-adjusted normal people. And I am, even though when you watch the stream, you're like, this guy goes off, this guy, I'm way more well-adjusted than a lot of these people. They're just not, they're just something a little bit off, right? You know what I'm saying? Does Wicked outperform Joker 2? What doesn't? Opening weekend, it could get 200 million. I mean, that film is at 200 million. Joker, 200 million worldwide, 800 million under Joker. So this film has lost Warner Brothers a fortune, hundreds of millions of dollars, right? The last one made them hundreds of millions, and this one's losing. So in the end, they're losing more money on Joker than they made, right? More, because the film costs more. So think about it. The profit of Joker and then subtract the losses of Joker 2. I think they lost money on Joker overall. That's pretty hard to do. I would have never taken that bet. I was wrong. I think all of us were wrong on Joker 2. Even if you don't like the film, the fact that it's at 200 million worldwide is baffling. Even if you hate it, I still can't believe people didn't just go see it. They had no curiosity. The narrative went south, and then the film just completely tanked. It's down 70% again this weekend. I mean, it's gone. It's on digital this week. So yeah, Wicked's gonna be huge film. Are you gonna see Memoir of a Snail? Robert, great question. I know you saw it the other day. Good seeing you again. Robert was at the 8, which is, I can't say, but I kind of like going there. Don't try to find me there. When I come in, I try to wear incognito so no one bugs me. But Robert, awesome meeting you. No, I almost went tonight. And I said, I'm too tired. I was going to go at like 5 and squeeze it in. And I just said, let's just focus on Conclave and do some other things and get out. I'm going to do Memoir of a Snail next weekend. I think it's limited, right? So I think most of you will see it next weekend. We can talk about Memoir of a Snail next Sunday. I don't know if we'll do a Thursday show. It's Halloween. I can either do the top 5 horror films, or if I'm not motivated, I'll do nothing Thursday, because it's literally here and nothing else. Next weekend is not a big film. Nothing major in the marketplace. So our box office preview show is essentially null and void. So we might skip it. I'll see how I feel. I might be over in Toluca Lake hanging out. That's a total party. I like doing that. If you guys live in LA and you want to see some crazy shit, go to Toluca Lake and hang out there from like 5 o'clock to 7, 8 o'clock. There are so many people in the street. My friend Britt's going to be there. Britt, I'll catch up with you, I promise. I might ride my bike over because you can't even get a car in there. There are people in the street. It looks like an exiting of a Dodgers game. There are people everywhere, cars. It's the craziest thing you've ever seen. It's a little area near Burbank. Toluca Lake's amazing. If I could buy a house, I'd buy a house there. I'm not going to, I wouldn't buy in the Hollywood Hills. I would buy in Toluca Lake. It's quiet. It's super secluded. It's chill. It's got the Burbank Police Force. I've mentioned all these things. But that's an awesome place to be on Halloween. So I might just be hanging out there. They have people serving beers and drinks out there, and I have some friends that live over there. So I'll just maybe just hang out. I know Weber has friends. Wow, that's shocking. Weber has friends he just played volleyball with all day. That's so weird. He's toxic. He's so terrible. Oh my God, this guy. Ooh. Then you look at them and you're like, well, I can understand why you're saying that. Saw Anora on Friday night. The goons who tie her up are just as stupid as Guy Ritchie gangsters. The tone was frustrating. It's the most overrated film of the year. I mean, Anora, to call it a masterpiece, even further buries Zach Pope to a level that it's almost inconceivable how low he's fallen. Like it's basically impossible for someone to be lower than Zach Pope. In the overall, like if we were to rate a critic, he would have the lowest rating. He'd have like a QBR of 0.1. But you watch this film and go back and watch my reaction stream. This film is just characters bickering at one another for 2 hours and 20 minutes with lame jokes that are for Gen Z that apparently they think are funny. Not funny. None of these jokes are funny. And then you've got her on the couch getting gagged, ungagged. You've got the gangsters being stupid, saying nothing funny. You've got the Russian bald guy who eventually is falling for her and he's got a thing for her. You see that. It's not well written. I'm here to tell you I'm 100% correct. Anybody who's a good writer will watch Anora and go, this is not good. And that's the funny thing is I think that when you look at how off film Twitter is so often, they're not even in the ballpark. Anora will go down as one of the most overrated films of all time, surpassing Everything Everywhere. Way surpassing. It's not, that's for me to say that. You got to remember, Everything Everywhere is hellaciously overrated. Anora makes Everything Everywhere look like tar. Okay, does that make sense? So Anora and Neon, I typically like you. Unfortunately, I've got to trash this film and continually trash it. We have to combat the narrative that this film is great because it is fuck no, it's not. It's oh my God, Anora. You would have to pay me $500 to sit through that film again. Not even 100. 100's not enough. $500, I'll watch Anora again. And I would hate every second that film's on, except for the opening song, the Take That remix. That's good. I'm like, I like where we're going here. And then it goes to fucking hell. It's so unfunny. It's so annoying. It's hellaciously overrated. Anora, I'm telling you, man, get on the right side of history with this because it's going to turn. And when the history turns on Anora, it's coming and it's going to happen just like it did for Coda. We called that Everything Everywhere. This film's worse. This film's way worse. This is, again, I can't put it any more just plain than it is the most overrated film, one of them of all time. It will end up being that. So, Luis, you saw the right movie. You 100% saw it. And the fact that nobody else is willing to say this film is not good. Can I check? Let's just go to Rotten Tomatoes and see if anyone else has actually put in a rotten review. Has anyone else had the balls to do that? I bet you there's maybe one more guy. Let's find it. Where is Anora? There it is. 99%, everybody. Nope, I'm not watching the trailer. Hell no. Get out of here. Get the hell out of here, Anora. I don't want to watch any trailer for that film. I don't want to even see a second of it again. 99%. Okay, let's see if there's who got a negative in here. Is there anybody? Look, fresh. These people suck. Every one of these people suck. Amy Nicholson, another chin-stroking film Twitter. NPR. Amy Nicholson. Unbelievable. She was one of those who's still wearing a mask. She's got like the gigantic thing on her face. I mean, listen, if you want to wear a mask, but it's just like, really, at this point, really? Look at all these people. Weber's terrible. Just let people do what they want to do. Fine, I'd say she can. Just like, why are you wearing like an N95 mask? It's weird. Because here's the thing. Think about this. I'm just going to say it like this. So I don't wear an N95. She wears an N95. I'm super healthy. I go to the gym. I'm in good shape. So here's my question for someone that wears an N95. How am I able to still go? Does that not register? Oh, but I'm immunocompromised. No. Just don't play that card. Just answer me the question. How are other people able to survive and they're doing okay? And do you not look at that and say, wait a second, it's kind of like, it's like so many movies we watch, War of the Worlds. You're being told it's one thing and then you take it off and you realize, no, it's not, right? The one thing Cloverfield Lane, other than John Goodman, someone mentioned his performance was good. It was. Cloverfield Lane's a little uneven. I don't love the film, but I love that at the end, right? Did it happen or not? I mean, yeah, it looks like it did, which you think the whole time it didn't. That's kind of a cool, now the more you look at like a film like Cloverfield Lane, it's you over the time, man, it's a good film. But back then we got so many good films. Like, it's pretty good, not great. But now we're talking about Anora being the best film of the year. Look, Lindsay Barr, 4 out of 4. Holy shit. I can't. Alyssa Wilkinson. Remember, I think Alyssa's the one who made up the shit about there's no females on the on the boxes. Remember, I told you that story. I think it's Alyssa. Was Alyssa? I think it's Alyssa. If it's not Alyssa, it's the other one. So Allison Wilmore, one of the two of them. They said they're both. It's like they both have the same AAW, right? So forgive me. They remember I told you she actually deleted the tweet because I called her out and just absolutely hammered her. She said, "Why don't they put female critics on FYC screeners?" And I go, "Wait a second, hold up. Let me go look at that." So I went and I looked at all of my screeners from that year, not even before that year that she said there's no, and I think I looked, my tweet's out there. 80% of the FYC screeners had a female critic on them. 80%. She said there's none. 80% of them. In fact, she was one of them on one of them. And then you know what her reply? This is how pathetic she was at the reply. You ready for her reply? Her reply was, "I don't know who you are." Like, oh, I'm sorry. Well, excuse me. Why don't you address the fact that you just fucking lied? How about that? Who cares who I am? You just lied. These people are mental, man. They're warped. They make shit up for social credit points. Oh, look, there's no female critics on the FYC screeners. And I go, well, hold on. What's this? There's a million. I have pictures. Let me see if I can find it. I got to find that because I want to hammer that person again, because that was one of the most, like the fact that someone still has a job after lying like that was a lie. It's a straight up lie. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find. I gotta look for it because it's been a long time since that happened. But I distinctly remember her saying, "I don't know who you are." I'm sorry. What were we talking about here? What are we? Why are you saying that? God, why can't I not find it? Why can't I find it? That's so angry. I'm still looking here. Give me a second. I can find it. If someone else finds it, let me know. Hold on. Female F. Let me put an F. You know, can I just say something? Why am I showing? Oh, there's an old video of me from a long time ago. Look at that. Who's that guy there in the middle of your screen? Give me a second. Let's see. FYC screeners. I'm trying to find the tweet. It's from a while. This is the free time of this show. It's almost an hour. Just let me do my thing. There's screeners. Come on. Where is this? No, this is when I used to go to events. Now I'm like, I don't want to see any of these movies. Where is it? This sucks. You know, we're doing this live. I really should have this ready. But anyhow, I can't find it. Let me just explain to you. Again, she said there's no female critics and there were tons. And then she deleted the tweet. But how do you do that? Like, can I ask you a question? How do you lie? How do people lie like that? Like make stuff up. I see it on Twitter a lot where people will say things and you're like, I don't think that's real. But they say it because they know they're going to get, like, today I helped an old woman across the street and I was called a hero. And you're like, why are you saying that? There was someone recently, a film Twitter person, who said something and you're like, why are you saying that? The one thing I do not like, and I've never liked this, and I see this, I just go, ugh. Whenever someone goes on like Twitter and goes, well, I had a bad day today, say something to cheer me up. Why don't you go get a real friend rather than sending it out on Twitter? Okay. Why don't you find someone to connect to in real life rather than, hey, everybody, I had a bad day today. Can you send me some good things, like some flowers and nice thoughts? It was a rough one for me today. When did we become a society like that? Like, well, I'm a victim, so you can just shower me with attention because I'm a victim. How about you get over it, motherfucker? I mean, seriously, guys. In my life, I've had so much shit that's happened that if I sat there and was like, well, I just didn't, it was me in the corner. Instead, you use it to build yourself back up and not give a shit instead of going, I'm a little wuss and I want attention for being a victim. I mean, no one's saying that being a victim, right? If you're a victim of something horrific, that's something, but it's a commodity, right? It's a commodity for some of these people because they don't have anything else. How about your commodity is you actually are interesting? How about your commodity is you are outspoken? You have things to offer that are, positive. Well, not everything I say, but, at least constructive, at least adding to the space instead of like all these people on Twitter that go, what's your favorite movie that you saw directed by a woman? And you're like, oh my God, are you that fucking boring? Like, say something interesting. I mean, I sent one of those out before and I said, this is the difference between what I do and what these other clowns do. You ready? My tweet from years ago when I was, I said, let's have some fun with this. If you're going to play this game, let's play it. What film score is too good for the movie? That's way better. You know how much? That's like 17 layers better than that shit. Like, what's the best movie you ever saw with a dog? I'm like, oh my God, these people, like that Eric Alper, every time he sends a tweet, it's like, what's your favorite album? Hey, everybody, what's your favorite color when you go to the bathroom? I don't know what to tell you. I'm just telling you, it's so like, why the fuck? Why do you do that? Can't you just not tweet something so fucking stupid? But these people have nothing interesting to offer, so they're like, let's crowdsource. Let's get some engagement by saying something like, I've never once come out of a movie, sent a selfie, and said Anora is hellaciously overrated, the most annoying film. My God, what are we doing? I didn't ever, never would I do that to go, oh, he's getting a reaction. I have never in my life, aside from a shirtless picture, but that's different. That's motivation. If I send a shirtless picture of me at the gym, that's to let you know you can do it too. It's not like, honest to God, I'm at the point now where I've done it. I've done these things so much, I don't need to worry about it. It's just like something I just do. The gym's something I do. This is something I do. Whatever it is, you do it and you don't think about it. Like so many people in life, they overthink stuff instead of just doing it and not worrying about the result. When we started this channel, right? Go back to 2022, right? Batman, was that 2022? That's when we started the channel. The Batman opening week, we're on live. Since that time, when I started, I never set out to have X amount of subscribers, X amount of views, X amount of whatever. It's just like, let's do the show. Let's try to make it interesting. Let's be opinionated. Let's show the talent that we have, which is obvious. And then, let's just go every time live. I started taping some of those things afterwards. I go, no, this isn't it. I want to go live every time. I don't know myself what's going to happen. So I think that's the magic of doing this. Also, I'm by myself. I don't have 17 people in boxes around me going, what do you think? What do you think? Hey, how about you? How about you? I am now over an hour. Oh, almost. We're almost an hour. I'll go an hour tonight. That's it. But I think that if you don't worry about the results, you just do your thing. That's where you need to be. And I say that, at some point I'm actually going to start up MMT Fit. I have the Twitter, right? As you guys know, but I know how to get it done at the gym. Okay. You're going to have to work. I'm not going to lie to you, but I know how to get results without taking steroids. Never in my life have I touched that shit. Okay. You take whey protein, you take glutamine, BCAAs, creatine. Those are all things you get at Walmart. Okay. So, and hard work and a clean, sensible diet, reasonable. Here's the deal is that you just do it. And over time, it will come or it won't. If it doesn't come, it doesn't matter. You didn't waste the time. You enjoyed the process. I enjoyed the process of doing the show. I've enjoyed the process of writing a script. That script's going to get made. I am 100% certain that our script will be a movie. I'm 100% certain. Not 99, not 99.1, 2, 3, 100%. Trust me. But here's the funny thing is, I may not even tell you what the film is. It'll be a surprise. One night I'll say, and by the way. And just that's all I'm going to tell you. So when that happens, that'll be awesome. But just the process of writing, the process of doing the show, the process of going to the gym, process of playing volleyball, whatever it is in your life you do, just do it. Don't worry about the approval of others. I certainly don't. I don't worry about that shit. I don't care. I don't even check views. And listen, honest to God, I mean, I mention it like, oh, well, look at us. We have 500 views. What doesn't matter. Who cares? I've already demonetized the whole entire stream by playing Enigma at the top. You guys understand that, right? Anytime I play a song, it's instantly demonetized. I'm making $0 doing this tonight. I don't care. Do you guys understand? Because this is just for shits and giggles. And if you approach life like that, and that's not the result to get views or money, it's what it is. Because ultimately, I think I've lived a pretty good life. I'm fine. If it all ended tomorrow, I'd be like, it's all good. It's all good. Because I didn't hold back. I never said no. I said yes more than I said no. I lived the life I wanted to live. And then you just go, that's good. I think too many people think and go, overthink it. Don't actually get out there and attack. You worry about what someone else is thinking. Don't do that. Do your thing and do not worry about anyone else has to say. And that's why I'm able to absolutely dominate the film Twitter bitches 24 hours a day, because they don't live like that. They don't live like that. We live like that. And that's the difference. And everyone knows it. And that's another reason why it drives them crazy. They don't understand the essence of that. Coach, thank you for the super chat. Again, but that's not, even if it wasn't, I would still be happy. From the Divine, I wanted me to tell you to go eat a Big Mac. Leave me alone. We're almost up to the hour. I'm just, listen, just so you know, Coach, last 2 weeks ago, I went to a sports bar and watched Ohio State, Oregon. Don't get me started about what happened with that game. I ate 2 pizzas. Well, I had a big part of 2 pizzas, along with, you ready for this? 3 beers. and some French fries. And for me, the next day I woke up and I'm like, damn, man, I feel like shit. Because you listen, once you get going, coach, once you get on like the everything's moving and you're eating right, you're doing the thing, you're feeling good. Then when you eat something, I like pizza a lot. When I'm back to Columbus, I eat like shit because it was so good. I love Columbus pizza, is so good. There's so many places. That's where I grew up, man. So, but the thing is when you start eating really clean, and I'm not talking about rice cakes. I'm talking about chicken breast, black beans, salsa, avocado, whole wheat tortilla. That's a lot what I eat. And then, let's say sweet potato fries, better choices. When you start eating like that and everything actually has nutritional value, then you can feel it. Like you feel strong. Like right now, even though I just played volleyball, like a ton of games today, beautiful day down at the beach, unbelievable day. And, but the ability to be able to still, and I'm no longer 28, to still do physically what in some fashion, okay, a little bit less for sure, but to still be able to get out there and play physically the way that I still do. And by the way, sometime I'll just stream it. I'll just stream one of the matches. You guys will be like, holy shit, Weber isn't kidding. Because the thing is what you have to understand, guys, to get ready to wrap is when I don't talk, I do. That's the difference between most people. Most people in life say blah, blah, blah. They don't really back it up. If anything, I actually understate most of the shit in my life. Like I said, I mentioned that whole PR thing that wanted me to watch something. Most people will be like, oh my God, I don't even mention these things anymore. It just doesn't, again, go back to the director of a film coming up to me and saying, hey, I watched your stream. Thanks for saying this DMs. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Because I'm doing what I want to do. And that's cool, but that's not the reason. You see what I'm saying? That can't be the reason. The reason is you like doing it, and then the other stuff comes. And that's the reality of it. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. Steve, always appreciate the support as we get ready to roll out of here on this Sunday night. Let me mention this, that I think we'll be off on Thursday. That said, if you have not subscribed, Midnight Movie Talk, YouTube, that's where to get that. If we go live, sometimes I'll only go on YouTube. It just makes it easier for me in a way because Twitter's sometimes a pain in the ass. But here's the deal, is that we might be there Thursday. We might not. Definitely next Sunday we'll talk about the, what's it called? Diary of a what? Fuck, I already forgot. Whatever it was, Snail. I'll see that, and I'll see whatever else. Maybe juror number 2 for sure next week. We got a bunch of films next Sunday we'll talk about. Until then, enjoy your week. If I don't see you on Halloween, be safe. If I see you in Toluca Lake, I'll be on my bike and maybe even shirtless. That'll be my costume. Shirtless biker coming through Toluca Lake Thursday night, live from City of Angels. Thanks. Peace out. I'll see you next time.